Hello, everybody. This is Brett Davis with Brett Davis Unleashed on IQ Podcast in beautiful Coronado at Attorney King Studios. My guest today is Sandra Blackie. How are you doing?
Hi there, Brett.
Well, it's like, now we get to see each other during the interview. We haven't done that in a while. This is kind of different.
Yeah, usually it's by radio, by phone.
Right. So how are you doing under the current situation that's going on with COVID-19?
Surprisingly well. Not perfect, but well. I mean, I'm healthy, number one, and I'm staying active, number two. And for the most part, I'm eating healthy. I drink a little too much wine, I think, because I'm bored at night. That's probably the truth. And I really hope that we start to open up the businesses in a safe way, in a phased way soon, because as a personal trainer, I don't feel that I can live like this forever.
Yeah, I mean, you're a very hands-on person, and I mean, we all grew up that way. And I mean, we grew up with concerts and being hands-on with personal training, and it's been a little bit of a change, a lot of change.
Yeah, a lot of change. I mean, some people are extremely bored. You know, I stay with people on social media, and you know, I'm a little bored at night, but I can honestly say that, you know, it's a time where you can do things.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm challenged a little bit with, I want to start my art again. And I've taken all of my materials out. And sometimes for me in art, it's a matter of just getting going, and then it just flows. Right. So I'm a little stuck, but it'll unstuck and I'll start to draw again. Because
I think it's just kind of one of those things when you do art that just, it's not something I know some people can sit down and just knock out things, but some people have to get kind of that, what's the word? Creative inspiration. It comes from nowhere sometimes.
Yeah, there has to be an emotion behind it, not just, hey, I'm doing this because I have time. There has to be an inspiration, at least for me personally.
I agree, but I know the other types that can just sit down and knock stuff out. They don't even think about it. That's very rare, isn't it?
Well, when I do art more regularly, it feels more like that. But when I haven't done it in a while, it feels like I'm a slow starter.
Gotcha.
And then once the pen or the pencil hits the pad, then I'm off to the races typically.
I don't think I've ever seen any of your art. We have to see that on maybe one of your upcoming interviews with you.
Oh, I've done a lot of portraits of famous people. That's more my thing. I'm a really good copycat artist. So I've drawn Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've actually gifted the portrait that I drew of Arnold to Arnold. And I did one of Linda Murray, who was a Miss Olympia.
Right.
And Dorian Yates. And I've done Herschel Walker from the Dallas Cowboys. And wow. I've had an opportunity. I mention these because these are the people that I actually gifted them the original and then just kept prints of.
That's nice. Herschel Walker's a nice guy.
Yeah, very nice.
I like him a lot, and he was quite an athlete.
Very amazing.
Yeah, very rare, huh? You don't find people that can build their body up with this thousands of push-ups and calisthenic type stuff.
Well, maybe in quarantine we'll have more people like him.
I was wondering the same thing. Would that be something? I don't think anybody has patience to knock out 1,000 or 2,000 crunches a day and 1,000, 2,000 push-ups. I mean, on and pull-ups. Can you imagine?
That's a lot of numbers.
Not everybody can do a Herschel Walker type workout, can they?
No, he's probably like one of the 1%ers. But you know, right. During this time, being an ex-Miss Olympia competitor and being even a strong woman at my current age, I only have limited equipment. I don't have a gym right now accessible to me. So my heaviest weight is a pair of 15-pound dumbbells and a 25-pound kettlebell. And I've been able to put together little exercise routines with fitness balls, rubber bands, a couple of other dumbbells, a TRX band that challenges me in my front yard.
Well, you look amazing. And I know if you were somebody who was on a desert island and they wanted to be trained, you could get somebody that's probably the best shape of their life, even with limited, with coconuts and vines.
Exactly. So, you know, even if people are not willing to spend money on fitness equipment, there's household articles that they can use for weight.
Right.
I mean, the other day I took a jug of water outside when I was using my weights in my exercise routine, and I thought, wow, this water jug is pretty heavy. I could do upright rows with that. I could do hold it overhead, and I could squat with it and really challenge my core at the same time. If you know the movement patterns associated with, like, there's 6 basic movement patterns. We have pushing for the upper body, we have pulling for the upper body, rotational movements for the core, squatting motions, stepping or lunging. Did I get them all? And gait, how we walk or how we run. And if you know these 6 basic movement patterns, you can get creative with what you have at home.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's a good idea to have a trainer guide you through it, because a lot of lay people won't automatically be as creative as maybe somebody who's been in the industry for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
But what you have in your house, you can use for fitness.
Sure. Guy that we all know, Jack LaLanne, my first boss, used to use a lot of that type of stuff for his show.
One of my clients took some, I think it's PCB pipe, I might be saying it wrong.
Right.
And glued it together, and it's pretty sturdy stuff, and gifted it to me. And so now I have something to do dips off of and push-ups off of. Excuse me.
How's that working out for you?
That particular device?
Right.
Oh, it works perfectly fine. It's
Sure.
solid. You just got to make sure you place your weight a certain way so you don't topple over, because it's not a heavy piping.
Sure.
And I posted on Facebook, and one of my friends said, "Oh, do you use that for jumping?" And I said, "No, actually, I didn't even think about that, because there's different kinds of jumps you could use with the height that I have. It's about 1.5 feet from the ground." I said, "No, I'm actually using it for push-ups and dips." And she went, "Well, I haven't thought of that. I've got some in my backyard. I'm going to make one."
There you go. Do you think this whole situation, we're going to see more people using Zoom and using personal training as a way to do their programs, and instead of going to the gyms like they used to? Will there be a change with that whole thing?
I think there's going to be an increase in the online training. I mean, it was already a thing before the virus.
Right.
But I think we were put in a situation that kind of forced us to learn Zoom or use Skype, or investigate these modalities just to survive as a personal trainer. Do I think the gyms will take a back seat 100%? No. People, I know a lot of people that tell me that they exercise for their mental health, and they need their gym community, and they need to be with people to be balanced and well physically and emotionally.
Okay, good point. Very good point. I wonder how many more people are working out now that they've kind of been at home more also.
Say that again?
I wonder if more people are working out because they have been at home.
Well, here's what I always believe. The people that used to say, "I don't have time," may still say, "I don't have time," because it's usually not about time. It's usually about belief systems, values, and priorities. I'd like to believe that the people who are exercising at home now just because they're bored, and maybe it's their first time in a long time, I'd like to think that they're going to continue on because they're in the process of creating a habit.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see if we're going to see people starting to take better care of their health because of this.
Excuse me.
This whole immune thing. I wonder if we're going to see more people more aware of how important it is to really keep their immune system to an optimum, and to eat better and to exercise more.
Sorry. I have a bit of a tickle. Sorry.
I offer you a cup of tea, but you're there, and I'd make you a hot cup of tea while you're here with some honey.
That would be very soothing. Every once in a while, I just get a tickle in my throat, and then it it makes me cough. I have a little bit of a postnasal drip that the doctors haven't been able to handle or give me the right medicine for.
Uh-huh.
And I find that if I cough in public now, sorry, that I'm very, very self-conscious.
Sure, well, anybody would be. You look great.
Well, I am healthy, and even if I cough a little bit, and I'm aware that there are some people that look at me with that look, um, I am well, and I'm very grateful for that.
Absolutely. So, do you have any advice for people that are home right now? What would you advise if they're looking for a trainer? How would you find a good trainer online?
Well, I do Skype. So we were talking the other day about my first Skype experience, and it's going really, really well. We just have to maneuver the computers in a way where we can see each other.
Right. I can see you great.
I can see you great too. And, I'm at home right now, so I don't have a lot of space.
Uh-huh.
But the people I'm working with on Skype, I've worked with them in person. So they're already familiar with, sorry.
Okay.
They're already familiar with my way of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenge that I see with new people is that the trainer using a video like Skype has to be very articulate, has to be very good at describing the exercise so that the client can really get a clear picture in their head. So I think that our communication skills, when we do more of this online training, have to go up a notch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I can also do program design.
Sure.
So I've got a bunch of clients that traditionally I don't see them 2 or 3 times a week. They use me more as a consultant. So before the virus, they were coming once a month. We would have a half-hour or 1-hour office appointment. I would measure their body composition. We would discuss any kind of lifestyle obstacles. We would address any kind of dietary issue or change. And then I would gather the information for the next phase and design an exercise program. So I still have those people, and I'm still getting referrals from those people, even though I have less people working with me 2 to 3 times a week on Skype.
That's good. Well, I mean, you're golden. I mean, you're probably one of the best trainers in the country.
Well, thank you.
You
I mean,
are.
it's been 35 years, and so I come from an era where the technology was very different, and we're probably from the same snack bracket. I think I'm a little older than you.
No, you look way younger.
So, being in my 60s,
wow.
I come from an era where, we still had black and white TV and we had a phone with a cord on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So learning Zoom and Skype and Facebook and LinkedIn and all these things, and things in between, has been fun. I mean, I don't find it challenging. I like to be creative.
Right.
But I got to admit, I really miss the in-person in the gym training.
Right.
I just don't want to go out there and get the virus, because with this postnasal drip stuff that I get,
right,
that causes me coughing, a common cold would make that really unbearable. The virus would make that horrible.
Right.
I'd probably fall into a category of being on a ventilator at a hospital, because it gets pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I've heard, I have family that are nurses, and I'm hearing the whole process of what's involved, and it's not a very good situation to be in. I mean, the fact you got to have this tube down your throat, it's so painful, and it has to stay there in place as long as you're in the hospital. And it's so painful, they have to put you to sleep.
I saw that on a video recently, and it was hard to watch.
I mean, that's a good motivation right there. Another good reason not to want to go. I mean, you don't want to be in the hospital period right now.
No. So, I see the same people in person day in and day out, pretty much. My circle of people are probably 5.
That's good. I mean, it's probably what mine is. So is there anything you want to share? We're going to wrap this up, that we like to share with the world out there about what type of program basic program they could do, or to stay sane?
Well, I'm all about health and fitness. So um, I really think that it's an opportunity to cook more for your family
Uh-huh.
and to really investigate healthy, tasty recipes. And I'm a big believer of using foods that you can see in nature, not processed and refined foods.
Right.
Also, by cooking at home compared to eating in restaurants, the same dish in a restaurant is probably going to be more calorically dense just based on the way they prepare it. And of course, in restaurants, they supersize the portions a little bit bigger than what the average human should be consuming.
Sure.
So we have an opportunity right now to feed our families with healthy recipes. And I'd like to think that people understand that what we put in our mouth has everything to do with our health and our immune system.
Absolutely.
Also, exercise is a way of strengthening the immune system. So for any people sitting at home behind a computer 8 hours a day, you really need to move. You need to stay strong.
Mm-hmm.
Just by sitting 8 hours a day, you increase or decrease, I should say, quality of life. And they compare the individuals that sit 8 hours a day
Mm-hmm.
to people who are obese, people who smoke a pack of cigarettes a day in terms of quality of life. So we really need to stand up and stretch, not sit there that whole 8 hours. We need to have a glass of water or a healthy snack like maybe an apple or an orange sitting there. We need to remind ourselves to take care, because you know how people can get really into whatever they're doing on a computer?
Mm-hmm.
So stand up and stretch. Find things in your household to move with. And it doesn't cost a lot to invest in some rubber bands, a couple of dumbbells, a fitness ball, and I can help you with all of that.
I know you can. And what's the website that people can go to again?
There's actually two websites. The first one is the main website, which is www.freedomoffitness.com. So all the different program options are listed there under program. And right before the virus caused us all to kind of shelter in place, I had created this incredible online program. So it was meant to be a nutrition program and an exercise program for 12 weeks, but it's in the gym. So right now, people can't go to the gym, but they can do the nutrition part of the program, and I can design them an exercise program with the articles they have in their home.
How cool. Is that both? Is that all the information?
The other website is bodybyblackie.com. That's where you can get the online nutrition program.
Well, I always enjoy talking to you, and it always goes by too quick.
It really does.
I enjoy your company, and I've always enjoyed talking with you and learning from you. And, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. And I can't wait to see you in person. And maybe you and I and Sarah can actually have a meal together.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I made soup yesterday for the family.
Really?
Yeah, for everybody. I took a whole chicken and let it, and I got a crock pot, and I let all that stuff soak for 6 hours. Chopped garlic, cloves, parsley, 4 different types of onions. It came out really good.
So is that something you've made before?
I used to. I do all the cooking most of the time. I'll have to make you some one of these times, some soup.
It's funny. I've got a couple of clients, and I've been over to their house. They're two people that I train actually in their home.
Uh-huh.
And before they work out with me, they shower. Really, because they don't want me to not come. I walk in the house and I wipe my hands with the Purell and wash my hands in the bathroom. And, we do all of that, but they're 2 of the 5 people that I see. So most of the time when I go there, as I leave, they're giving me food. So one day they gave me pea soup that was homemade from scratch, which was awesome. And last night I was given a nice piece of prime rib roast, which,
oh.
So I have some clients that are just really cool like that.
I'm going to make you some soup.
I can't wait. I love soup.
It's a hodgepodge of a variety of plants, and I use all herbs, and it's all natural.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt you're not that processed and refined guy.
No, we probably have the same taste.
Real food.
Real food. A big kiss and a hug to you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Okay, always good to see you.
Stay
Sandra
safe.
Blackie, one of the greatest, what she does, a legend in the bodybuilding industry and a legend in life as being a great person and just a very sweet, nice woman. It's very nice to have her as my friend. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Attorney King Amanpour. Because of King, I'm able to have my lights and my electricity turned on. Thank you, King, for being involved with the show. Indian Motorcycle in San Diego. I look forward to getting my motorcycle as soon as Sarah says it's okay and signs off on that. Also, Cosmopolitan Restaurant and Hotel. Thank you, Chuck Ross. As soon as this whole thing wears off, I look forward to bringing my friend Sandra and Sarah for a nice blackened salmon at your wonderful restaurant in Old Town. Again, this is Brett Davis with Brett Davis Unleashed. God bless everybody.